Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is all about why I don't thrift or charity shop anymore and why I don't really go to vintage stores anymore. So if you're interested in finding out all about that, do stick around. Please do subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. It's the second in my Soundbites series. So that's a series of just short videos giving a bit of food for thought. Whether it's a little topic to think about or talk about and discuss, or just, you know, things I want to get off my chest. So yeah, this is episode number 2. So I'm going to crack straight on into it. I guess point number 1 for me is that I tend to feel a bit sized out when it comes to charity shops and vintage stores. So vintage sizing is notoriously small. So I think I'm a size 14 to 16 UK, and I believe in a vintage store it would be around a size 12 now. So I don't tend to find a lot of vintage pieces that fit my body shape and my body size at the moment. And that's the same with charity shops. When I go to charity shops, I find that the things that are in my size are just not really my vibe. They don't really fit my kind of aesthetic. So I have a little bit more of a minimal type of aesthetic. I like sort of oversized silhouettes, and there's a certain style I have and that I like, my own personal style, and I tend to find I can't complete outfits suiting my personal style, my preferences in charity shops. So that's a huge thing for me. It's a major obstacle, I suppose, to shopping charity. I would say that I've done it a lot in the past. So back at uni, sort of 10 plus years ago now, I charity and vintage shopped all the time. Most of my wardrobe is made up of that. I was a smaller size at the time, so I found I had a lot more choice. I also grew up donating to charity and buying from charity shops with my mum. It's something we still do now. She's going to come and see me in a few weeks' time, and we'll do the charity shops in my local area and go for lunch. It's just a nice thing that we do. So it's something that's always been on my radar, and I've done and I've enjoyed. But I find now, because I'm a bigger size and my style, I'm much more, I know what my personal style is a lot more. I just find that, yeah, I don't find it fulfilled in thrift stores anymore. I'd say point number 2 is that I think location is a really big thing. So I've lived in some great locations where there's been a great choice in charity shops and vintage stores. So I went to university in Edinburgh, and I absolutely love the selection of vintage stores and charity shops there. I buy so many cool like loungewear jumpers, cool vintage items. A lot of my wardrobe was sort of 50-50 secondhand and new, and I've mixed and matched a lot, and I loved it. And the same when I lived in London, I had a great, you know, London has a mass of vintage stores and charity shops and different areas, more affluent areas, less affluent areas. You can find some amazing finds. So London was great for that. And similarly, when I went to Canada, so I lived in Canada for a year, in my 3rd year of uni, I think, yeah, and I lived in Goodwill. I'd spent so much of my student loan in Goodwill. I came back with a whole box of excess baggage of just really cool things, and so I've always loved finding unique pieces and mixing them with my current wardrobe. But I've just found over the years, as my style has changed and my size has changed and my location has changed, so I'm much less in a big city now, and the selection of things in the charity shops are just not really my vibe, and they're not really for me. That's really affected that whole thing. So I'd say location to me is a massive factor. And point number 3, which I think is a really bad one actually, and it's something I want to change, and I don't know if any of you guys end up thinking like this too, but it's price. And I don't want to be one of those people that says, oh, charity shops have put their prices up, because it's not fair. Because actually charity shops and thrift stores need to price in line with, you know, the rest of the high streets that they're on. They need to, you know, cover their costs and their overheads and things like that. And, you know, they are charities. So I think it's bad that I think, you know, I'll go into a charity shop and see a shirt, for example, and think, oh, it's £10. You know, it's a bit expensive. I could probably add a couple more pounds and get it new from somewhere else. And I think that's a bad mentality that I want to change. But it has been something that's impeded my charity shopping in the past. They're my 3 main points as to why I don't do it anymore. But I do want to get back into thrifting, back into vintage shopping, and back into buying pre-loved. And it does take some time. I think when you have quite a specific personal style and you have, you know, your fringe size, you know, it's tough, and I think it takes some time. So I need to try and invest some time. I want to probably go in with an idea in mind. So I do want to get a really nice crisp cotton baby blue shirt. That's what I'm kind of looking for, like a cornflower blue shirt for spring. That's in my head that I'm really looking for, and I'm thinking I might find that in a menswear section of a charity shop. So that's what I've got on my shopping list currently. I also might scour eBay. That might be somewhere where I'll find something that works for me as well. So I'll start doing a lot more eBay shopping for specific items like that, and maybe just dabble into pre-loved for trend pieces. So if there are things I want to add into my wardrobe trend-wise that I don't want to invest lots of money in, try and find them in charity shops, versions of them in charity shops or on eBay, and sort of dabble my foot into getting back into thrifting that way. So that's just a little sort of insight as to why I don't buy pre-loved for clothing and really shoes, because I'm a fringe size 8. I rarely find anything pre-loved that I like that's in my size. So that's a reason as to why I don't buy pre-loved for clothes and shoes, but I do for bags, and I still will continue to do so for bags. So let me know if any of that rings true with you guys. If you don't agree with anything I've said, let me know. Let's have a chat down below. I hope it didn't offend anybody. It's not a video to bash anybody buying pre-loved. I totally agree with it. I've done it in the past. I just need to kind of, you know, man up and get back into it again and really try and delve into finding a few pieces that work for me that I can mix into my more sort of high street wardrobe. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I will catch you in my next soundbite. Bye.